And you can find today's top stories on our website, yourerie.com. Friday Night Lights begins right now.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Friday Night Lights. I'm Jay PUSKAR. Mike Fenner is on assignment. In the first round of COVID-19 testing for Major League Baseball players, 31 came back positive, with an additional 7 more being staff members. One of those players testing positive was Cleveland Indians outfielder DESHIELDS. He tested positive before having to travel to Cleveland for the start of camp. He had been training at the team's facility in Goodyear, Arizona. He will remain there until his tests come back negative. The first wave of testing was pulled out of over 3,000 samples of players and staff members. Following weeks and months of back-and-forth negotiations, Major League Baseball teams were finally able to get back to work this afternoon. It marks the first time since mid-March that baseball resumes, with players back on the field and conducting workouts with hopes of still having a season in 2020. This was the site in Detroit as the Seawolves parent club. The Tigers were holding practice at Comerica Park. Over in Boston, the governor of Massachusetts, the mayor of Boston, and the Red Sox team president were on hand watching the club conduct their workouts. All organizations across Major League Baseball are required to test for COVID-19 among players, coaches, and other personnel. Plus, keep all equipment sanitized and do their best to practice social distancing. Opening day of a 60-game schedule is slated for 3 weeks from today.
I feel safe right now. I think as an organization, we've done a great job. As I've been here for the last 3 days, I think we've done a great job of trying to stay apart as much as possible and not hang out in the clubhouse or hang out around each other, which is probably the hardest part. You're so excited to see all your friends, excited to see your teammates. But you have to understand that we want to get through this season. We can't have guys get sick. We can't have guys test positive or they're going to be off the field and, in quarantine for 14 days and then trying to get ready and things like that.
It's going to come down to how safe we're going to be. If there's an outbreak or something happens, these next few weeks, you definitely got to consider. I definitely got to reconsider. It's just there's a lot of questions. I got to do, obviously, baseball. I love baseball, but I got to do what's right for my family sometimes. And majority of the time, I got to do everything for my family.
When it comes down to it, players just want to compete and get after it. And it's going to be a different season, right? I mean, we're used to playing really about 3 times the amount of games. With that said, there is only going to be one coronavirus World Series champion, and so that's unique in and of itself. And I don't see why you wouldn't want to take that trophy home, especially when you're competing against your peers.
As summer camp began, MLB announced on Friday that this year's All-Star game in Los Angeles has been canceled. The Dodgers were set to host this season's Midsummer Classic, but will now do so in the summer of 2022. This marks the first time since World War II that the Major League All-Star game has been canceled. The Atlanta Braves and the city of Atlanta will host the All-Star game and its festivities in 2021.